And welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, week 5 of YSN Primetime Live. DJ Yoakley, Steve Leslie, Donnie Riccatelli, and we'll have more throughout the show. But gentlemen, week 5. Can you believe it?
No, that's something that we just seemed like we were sitting at YSU for a Thursday night and then a Friday night the next night. And here we are week 5 after this week. You're halfway home. And, then you can really start, in my opinion, looking at computer points and those types of things and what teams need to do. But, again, some good matchups again this week.
Donnie, the fastest 10 weeks of the year, and it's no exception this year.
No, absolutely not. I mean, especially since you're starting the season so early, like you've been the last several years. It's just time is flying. I mean, I know they're getting some really good weather in and stuff, but I'm ready for that 60-degree chilly night, maybe a little breezy. See how that football goes. It's going pretty right now with everybody, but once it starts getting cold, you're in Northeast Ohio. I want to really see what football is all about.
I want to see that run game.
Yeah.
See that, and I think we're going to see that run game right here, Poland Seminary High School tomorrow night as the Bulldogs welcome in South Range. Let's start with this one right off the jump. Let's just talk about this game. No predictions, no anything. This is going to be a bust them up, beat them up kind of football game. 2 roughneck teams, but there is some finesse on the side of South Range. We haven't seen Poland necessarily air out the football this year or in the last few years. What are we expecting for this game tomorrow, Steven?
I think it's going to be a good game. It'll be physical, number one. It was a physical game last year. And, Poland's back's against the wall. They lost the game last week that they probably don't think they should have and get another opportunity against South Range. And it's a game that, if they could win the football game, they're right back in the mix of the NE8. I think you're going to see Fulton open it up a little bit. I really do. I think that the winner of this game, in my opinion, whoever throws the ball the best in this game tomorrow night, I think has a good chance. Good running backs, good skill on both sides. It's just it's a great rivalry. It's become a great rivalry. This place will be packed, and I expect a good game, but I think throwing the ball is going to be key for both teams.
A lot of eyes on this one. It's homecoming. You alluded to it already. Poland coming off a very tough loss. South Range still undefeated. Donnie, when you're looking at that, there's that inspiration factor for both of these teams. Who has the edge? Is it a team that's coming off a tough loss and needs the win, or a team that wants to keep things rolling and undefeated?
You would think it would be a team that's coming off a loss that really needs to get that win. But South Range, for some reason, they're just a strong program year in and year out. I mean, and last year, I got to be honest with you, week 1, I picked the Poland Bulldogs to go in and beat up on South Range. I didn't think South Range had that caliber of a team to go up against the Bulldogs. The Bulldogs had a huge line last year. Their skill positions were great. The quarterback play was fantastic. And I know the weather was absolutely horrendous last year in week 1. And I thought maybe that was the fluke for them, but South Range kept rolling. And I even picked against South Range week 2 last year when they went up over to play Girard. I thought Pat Pearson would be ready for him and the Girard Indians would have been ready for him. But South Range has made me a believer, and I promise you, Raiders, I'm not going to pick against you this week.
And I'll tell you this, is Poland, people look at them and they say, listen, we might not pick them necessarily, but you can't deny that they've kept every game very, very close. They've kept themselves in the game. And obviously last week they were up 26 to 13 or something like that at halftime. And you look at that. Can Poland keep it close enough against the Raiders here at home to give themselves a chance in the fourth quarter?
Well, if I'm Coach Pavlansky, I have to tell them, guys, look, you know what? Those were yesterday's touchdowns. It's a big thing. You got to move on from yesterday's touchdowns. You have to focus this week and get ready for this week and this week only. You can't look past this week. Obviously, you're not going to look past this week given the caliber of the opponent that you're going to have. But you got to move on no matter what. I get it. It stings. It was terrible. They came from behind and suffered the loss. And you just have to pick yourself up, dust yourself up, old cliche, but you just have to do those things and move on and get ready for this week.
On South Range's side, Steve, you got Dylan Dominguez, who is the featured tailback there, but you also have Corey Pennick. You also have Connor Jones. You also have the wideout in Aiden Leone. And, of course, you got Billy Skirpak, the gunslinger, Billy the Kid back there. If you are South Range, who do you need clicking on all cylinders against Poland tomorrow night?
I think it's Skirpak. I really do. I think obviously Dylan does a great job running the football. I think he's that guy that the coaching staff has the confidence in when they need 3-4 yards. It's him. But been impressed with the way the young man's played quarterback. I really have. I think he's been key for them. I say in a lot of my coaches' corners, coach has some nice toys to play with on the offensive side. I think that's what makes them so skilled in the positions, good wide receivers, good running backs, a quarterback that can run it too. And I think their defense gets a little unknown. I think they play better defense than a lot of people give them credit for. It's just Coach Yeagley's one of those guys that year in and year out puts out good football teams. And I'm not surprised. I thought, I was interested in see how they would react after last year and those things. But I think the senior class knows how important football is at South Range, and they just keep hitting it at all cylinders. But I think the quarterback play in this one is key. I think both of them are talented, and I just think whoever has the better matchup between the two of them gives his team the opportunity.
Okay, so I've got a question for you guys, and I would bet all the Skittles in the bag that Coach Pavlansky wouldn't answer this question, or would Coach speak his way through this one. If you are on the Poland sideline, there's one guy to stop, and you put your chance in the best situation to win this game against South Range. Is it Skirpak? Is it Dominguez? Or is it somebody else?
I think it's Dominguez. I really do. I think you need to stop the power run. I think the physicality of Dylan running the football, I think South Range feeds off of that. I really do. I think that, on Poland's end, I think they want to make South Range throw the ball a little more than run it. I think they hit them with some big runs last year. I think they're going to try to maybe put them in some long situations and make them pass the football.
Donnie?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think it is going to be, the running game, but I believe, if Poland does try to key in on that, they will get hurt big time, especially with a kid the size of Leon on the outside. So
I'm interested because I think that if I'm not a coach, but if I key in on Skirpak and you make South Range one-dimensional, you might be in a better place that you can start putting Colosimo into position where he's a game changer. He's the guy that you're looking to, and we saw last week. Hubbard realized quickly at halftime, if we just run away from 11, we got a chance to win the ball game, and they did. And they did. We are hopefully going to talk to Coach Pavlansky at about 5:15. But until then, gentlemen, let's get to some games here on the docket tomorrow night for YSN. Leading off, Austintown Fitch at Cardinal Mooney. This one, listen, you talk about teams looking to bounce back. Fitch looking to bounce back in the worst way. And I have a feeling that Mooney's going to feel the sting.
Yeah, that's going to be a physical football game again. I think that the key for Cardinal Mooney is early. Can they keep it close? I mean, Cardinal Mooney is one of those teams, if they can play a game similar to how they played Hubbard, it could be a dogfight. I'm curious to see how Fitch is going to come out. I really am after a tough one like that. Sometimes you can catch a team not ready to go. I don't think that's going to be the case with TJ. I think he does a great job, but I think that's a better game than people anticipate. I really do. Mooney and Fitch have had some wars. Coach Pelini will get them ready to play. And I think from the Fitch side, all Fitch has to do is pop on that Hubbard tape. And what they did in that game from a physical standpoint, it could be anybody's game, but Sherwood is the real deal. Hats off to him. Yeah,
all-time leading passer in Austintown Fitch history.
That's congratulations. Yeah, it's phenomenal.
And I agree with Coach. I think that last week Steve Gomartin, frequent watcher of our program, he's awesome, gave us a synopsis of if Ursuline can run the football, it's gonna be a game, right? And we all know what happened, regardless of how many people were on the field at the 2-point conversion, whatever it was, a loss is a loss. You got to move on, right? What does Mooney do? They run the football. So if Mooney can establish a run, they will be in a tight game with Austintown Fitch Friday night. All
right, here's another game. Camel at Brookfield. Brookfield getting back on the field after a week off. Do you think that obviously with COVID situation, you can take it as a negative, but it might be a positive for them as a week rested as you go into a very physical MVAC schedule?
Yeah, I think that's going to be key for them. That's a good football team that's played some great competition early in the year and played a great game against Springfield. I think the week helps them hone in on the league play. And, Coach Clark with his 100th win, obviously hats off there. But that's a good football team. That's one of those under the radar teams that we talk about, right? That, come week 11, they'll be in a playoff mix. I don't know how many teams in a 16-team playoff format would want to see a Brookfield? I expect them to continue the good things and get a win tomorrow night.
Donnie LeBray at champion. I think this one has all the makings of the Vikings bouncing back in a big way.
I agree. I think they were ready to go. They thought they were ready to go against Garrettsville last week, and they thought they had the athletes to outrun them. And it, like our buddy said, it towards the end of the first half, if it wasn't for the return, they really weren't in the game at all. I mean, and kudos to Garrettsville for really being able to control a game all year. I mean, is going to be their number one thing. But I agree. I think LeBray definitely still feels that sting, and they throw a little bolt in the flashes.
Under the radar game of the night tomorrow, Cheney at Canfield. Steve, you know all about these two teams.
Yeah, that's Coach Pav. When you have to block those two defensive ends, that's a chore. He said it. He doesn't know if they'll be able to block them. You just got to try to hit it inside of them. Chris has done a great job at Cheney from their start. I think they've improved big time from the day we were there. It'll be a physical football game. I think, Canfield needs to just stop big plays. But I think last week as a springboard for Canfield, he talked about being able to run the football and stop the run. They did it against a good new Philly team. I think Canfield continues, but I think it's closer than people think.
All right, here's a big one. East at Boardman. Boardman letting Howland hang around for what? The majority of the game. Howland looked impressive. Donnie, what do we expect from Boardman? Do we know what we have in the Spartans so far?
Listen, here's the deal with Boardman, and their offense is about to get extremely scary. Okay, with Terrence Thomas coming back, Anthony Hightower went down a little early in the game. Then they wanted to put Terrence in a little bit later. Well, Hightower ended up going down with an ankle, and when he came in, you could just see the level of speed on that field was just unbelievable and unmatched. And the fact that defensively, Boardman still keeps giving up that edge, and there's no secondary level to help out right away. They got to figure that out. And I think this week is a week that they really work on that, because East is they're just a down program right now. I mean, I picked them to beat Ellett last week, and Ellett came in and knocked them off. So I think this week is a week where you really see both offensively and defensively, it gets picked up pretty good for the Boardman Spartans.
And you're going to have a front row seat for that one
yeah.
tomorrow night. We're going to take a break. We got through our first block of games. When we come back, the head ball coach of the Poland Bulldogs, Mr. Tom Pavlansky, right here on YSN Primetime Live.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics, police officers, homemakers. And we are there serving our nation in the Air Force Reserve. When medical emergencies arise, in cybersecurity, when natural disasters happen, we are there in space. We are Reserve Citizen Airmen, and we are there with over 180 different jobs to serve your country. Air Force Reserve.
Okay.
Working with your family can be stressful at times, but because they're family, you know that you're going to get a loving, honest answer, even when things don't make sense to any problem. Dealing with Medicare can be confusing and overwhelming. That's why here at Myers Family Insurance, we do our best to give you honest and caring answers to all of your questions. Family, like Medicare, isn't always perfect, but when you put others first, the results can be amazing.
For all your Medicare needs, call Myers Family Insurance.
Come see one of the Valley's hidden gems. The Back Nine Bar and Grill on the Berlin Lake Golf Club is the perfect place for fellowship, fame, food, and fun. Check out our daily specials and ask about memberships. The Back Nine Bar and Grill on Hartzell Road in North Benton. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, YSN Primetime Live. DJ Yoakley, Steve Leslie, Donnie Riccatelli. We're joined by the head ball coach of Poland, the Poland Bulldogs, and Coach Tom Pavlansky. You don't even need an intro anymore. You've been on so much media this year, given this team. I mean, what has it been like for you? I mean, it's a homecoming for you in a bunch of different ways. You're in week 5, unbelievably already. The season's flying by. What's it been like for you?
It has been. It's been a a whirlwind, but I'm thankful that I got a strong support system at home with my wife and kids, and but also here as a staff and but really even the community. And we was trying to focus just a day at a time and not try to get caught up on things because you're right. Because before you know it, hey, here we are, week 5, and it was like yesterday where we were 200 days away from Canfield, and it's here. But that's how life goes. I think, we go a little bit faster as we keep on getting older. So, but, he's trying to keep a perspective about, hey, what we got to get done right now, what's important now. And that's where we are.
You talk about what's important now. Obviously, everybody wants to talk about the last 4 weeks, but you're preparing for South Range tomorrow night. Homecoming, a big night, lots of media, lots of bright lights here on this game. And it means even more because of what happened last week. Do you feel like you're in a playoff mode with this team now?
Yeah, I think we've been in a playoff mode since week 1. Our first, we knew going in, our first 5 games were going to be a heavyweight match, but really it's not even the first 5. I think it's all 10 because the Northeast state is so competitive. We got great coaching in our conference. We got great athletes, great kids, great communities. And that just goes back to, hey, we guys got to take it a day at a time and go. Obviously, last Friday was obviously not the result that anyone wanted. But you know what? We got to make sure that we continue to focus on us and again, keep on asking ourselves, hey, what's important now? And because we know tomorrow night, the best team on our schedule right now is coming into town, and we got to be ready to go because they are exceptionally well coached, and they got some kids who are second to none at their position throughout the state.
So I bet the bag of Skittles that you wouldn't answer this question, or at least give me some coach speak. You got to take away one person tomorrow night. They got a lot of people to take away. Who are you keying in on?
That's a tough question because they're so balanced. They're so balanced. The young man at quarterback, Mr. Skurpak, he does a tremendous job. He's just getting better and better and better every single game. Throwing the ball, and his legs are really dangerous. Then obviously it's Dylan Dominguez there in the backfield is he's a special kid too, and then you look at the Brooks kid at alignment, the Brooks family is well known for their football with the Austintown heritage. Now at South Range last couple of years, just tough, hard-nosed minded kids. So we got to make sure we win first down. That's what I want. We want to win first down. That's what we're keying on. We got to win first down and try to create them in it's like behind the sticks or create some second and long situations to put maybe a little more extra pressure on them. But we got a big task at hand. That's for sure tomorrow night.
So let's talk about this group of seniors. This is a very special group in this Poland area. Just a group that has been waiting for this moment the entire time. Talk about this group, the culture of the group of seniors that you have, and obviously, what this season means to them and their legacy here at Poland.
Well, all you do, you look at the success they've been a part of, the last couple of years. They've won a lot of football games. They won a lot of football games, played a lot of big games. And, the one thing I learned from these guys or, in terms of observing these guys since last February was that, they're willing to work. They're willing to work. And there's definitely a closeness to them. There's a togetherness to them. And it's led by the seniors. And so, that's what's impressed me the most. And, and as we get to know them more and more and every single day, they're you get to really appreciate them so much, and I know they want to win. They want to go compete, and they want to play their best, and that's what we're working towards.
Coach, one of the things that I noticed, Coach, was in watching you coach for years, the progress of your teams. And I go with the people you've played. You talked about that. I see a lot of progress. I really do. Obviously, you don't want to have 2 losses. I get that. But this team has progressed from the Canfield game to last week and done some very good things. What is one of your keys that you want to see this group maybe progress a little more and to help get over the hump?
Well, I think just in all phases of the game, from special teams to offense and defense, we're not far away in each area of being as good as we can be. Or at least getting better. And that's where, we just got to keep on working hard about paying attention to detail. We got to coach them better, put them in better situations, to give themselves a chance, give themselves a better chance. And, and that's what we're working towards, just going back to, again, just position group wise, making sure what the fundamentals are. And that's what we try to stress. And, and hopefully that's going to get us a little bit better. From last week, we were close to popping a kickoff or 2 kickoff returns and in the second half, offensively, we don't put any points on the board, but when we had the ball 3 times and we have 2 14-play drives, and we got to learn to get that ball in the end zone, and so obviously wasn't the outcome last week, but we it just we just gotta keep on working at it. Keep sticking together and keep working at it.
Well, there's no doubt that this group will do that, DJ. I'm convinced. People don't understand how hard it is in a high school football game to have 14 play drives.
Hey, the other
unless you've been a part of it and coached it as long as he and his family and all these coaches that do it. There's a lot of positive things that happen in 14 play drives.
The other team shows up too.
Yes.
I mean, you're not playing dummies.
No.
You're not playing garbage cans.
Right.
The other team shows up too. And I think that's what people have to remember.
And
Coach, piggybacking off of what Coach said, talking about your family, that Pavlansky name is all throughout this valley. And, I had the honor of coaching your niece, Lauren, in high school from freshman on up in basketball. And what does that Pavlansky name mean to you? Like what mark would you like to leave your legacy as a Pavlansky?
That's a loaded question there. But I've been extremely blessed. Okay. Extremely blessed. And, it's just, I think, making sure that we take things really it's just one thing at a time. Don't take anything for granted. Give it your best effort every time, encourage people, work hard, do your best, and have some fun doing it.
Absolutely.
Have some fun doing it. And, and I think you do that, that's a pretty full day.
Yeah.
And then you try to put them back to back. I'm incredibly proud of my name. Proud of my mom. As here at Poland, I've been fortunate to hear a lot more stories about my dad.
Yeah.
And which was, I'm not gonna lie, that was a big motivation to be here. Because again, it's a lot of guys played for my dad that, I'm hearing stories that I didn't get to hear, that I missed out on, it's because of my age, when he passed away. And, so it's allowing our family my family, allowing ourselves here to know who my dad was a little bit more. And my kids know who their grandpa was, and my wife knew who her father-in-law was. And, and we just don't take that for granted, don't take that for granted at all. But, we want to work hard, do your best, have fun, and just try to put good days back to back like that.
That's beautiful. Good stuff.
Coach, we know you got places to be tonight. Speaking of your family, you're an exemplary coach, but an awesome dad. We got to witness that because Steven actually worked for YSN last year. Unbelievable announcer, by the way.
Absolutely.
But now serves the military. The pride that you have, obviously on the sidelines, but the pride as a dad when you go home, walk through that door. Talk to me about that. You talk about your family name, but your kids are carrying on in the military and on and off the floor. Talk to me about that.
I'm really, my wife, she's run the show. My best friend, can't give her, obviously she gets all the credit, I'm just along for the ride. And, but we're incredibly proud of all of our kids. Annie graduated in 3 years at Kent State by playing basketball, and she's working on her master's now. She's getting ready for her senior season, and so we're really proud of her and how hard she's worked. Steven, as you mentioned, is a plebe at the U.S. Merchant Marine Academy in Kings Point, New York, and we stay in touch. It's been nice to stay in touch with him here the last couple of days, or ever since he got out of Indoc, which was our boot camp. We were only allowed to talk for the first 17 days, so that was challenging, but we knew it was all good for him. He's gonna be okay, and we can't wait till we see him next for sure. But we talk to him now pretty often, which is good, and he's doing good. And he's really excited about his choice that he made, and so we're really can't be more proud of him really. And then Maggie is a junior at Lakeview, is a 3-sport athlete, great student. Got a big volleyball match tonight that looking forward to. But basketball and softball there, and then our youngest one, Tommy, has the distinction of being the first Pavlansky to be a band member, cross country runner, and a track runner. Wow. And so he just got accepted into the youth symphony down at the Stambaugh Auditorium. That's awesome. On Tuesday night. He got an audition, and so he did well there. But couldn't be more proud of Tommy, and so we're blessed. But again, credit goes to my wife. And because she spent more time with the kids than I have, that's for sure. But anyways, appreciate you asking. And I'm as a dad bragging about my kids there, and so
that's perfect.
But I appreciate that. No problem.
We're proud of you, and congratulations on and off the
Thank
field. You're a family that doesn't shy away from getting involved, and especially as 9/11, everybody reflected on it last week. Thank you. And Steven for your service. When one serves, the whole family serves. So
Right.
thank you very
Appreciate
much.
it.
We want to be good stewards of your time. We want to make sure you
No,
get that volleyball
I
game.
appreciate it. No problem. I
Thanks
appreciate
for-
it, guys. Thanks so
for
much.
popping by.
Appreciate
Good
the
luck
opportunity.
tomorrow, and we will see you soon.
Thanks so much. Anytime. Thanks, guys.
You
Appreciate
got
that.
it. We'll
Thank
be
you.
right back
Thank
on
you. Thank
YSN
you.
Primetime Live right after this.
We are there in your community. Small business owners, mechanics.
New things happen all day. Some are good, some not so good. In today's complicated world, while you're busy working, playing, and living life, we're busy helping you make sense of the day's news. And there's only one place where it comes together with clarity, context, and accountability. It's 21 News at 6 with me, Madison Tromler, and Derek Steyer.
21 News at 6. It's what the day's news really means to you.
Welcome home to a home made homier with Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods. Inspiration starts at BairdBrothers.com and is turned into reality when high-quality hardwoods are delivered right to your home. Baird Brothers has the latest design trends, shiplap and skinny lap interior siding, antique oak rustic flooring, and, well, you'll find them all at BairdBrothers.com. Ordered easily, delivered conveniently, enjoyed comfortably. BairdBrothers.com.
At Greenwood Chevrolet, shop with confidence knowing we're ready to go the extra mile for you. With the largest selection of used vehicles in the Valley, backed by the Greenwood Advantage Warranty. Every one of our vehicles has undergone our own 126-point inspection, so it passes the most important inspection, yours. No other dealership has the extra inventory, gives you extra for your trade, and goes the extra mile for you. Only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
WRS Wealth Advisors, the area's premier wealth and retirement specialists. Located on South Avenue in Boardman.
Quality, customer service, and integrity. Those are the 4 words that have driven our success since 1957 at Joe Dickey Electric.
Joe Dickey Electric is one Mahoning Valley landmark business that stays current with the requirements of our customers. Family owned and managed, we are an electrical contractor and energy solutions provider. Every member of our team adds to his or her skill set through ongoing training. Residential, commercial, industrial, automotive, and more. We keep ahead of the needs of our customers with a fleet of more than 50 vehicles and 24/7 emergency service, so you're never left in the dark.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. YSN Primetime Live, and we're joined by 2 really, really good ball players, seniors. Introduce yourselves, young men.
Hi, I'm Michael Natoli.
I'm Dom Sabrin.
And, of course, we still have Donnie Riccatelli on the end. Steve kind of wandered off, so we'll pick him up somewhere. I'm guaranteeing he's going to find us food somewhere, at least scout it out for us. So, guys, a big game. I don't think I have to tell you that. It's a pretty big game tomorrow night against guys that there's not a whole lot of love lost for. I mean, this has turned into a really natural rivalry for you. I don't want to be cliche, but how big is this game for you?
I think that it's a huge game for us, that we really want to gain a lot of respect back from this game. And coming from last year, it was a tough loss coming from them. So I think we really want this game.
Dom?
Yeah, South Range is always a good team. Growing up, they've always been good, playing against them in all sports. And, I mean, it's one of those things, like you said, just a natural rivalry. They're a good team. We're a good team. And it's honestly just gonna be a fun game because we're both playing for the conference. I mean, 3 good teams all playing for that conference spot, and I think this game is going to be really fun to play.
A win puts you right back in the driver's seat,
Yeah.
right? And these games, Dom, are won in the trenches. Talk to me about, the not necessarily the game plan, but your mindset going into it, knowing that you're going up against their best, they're going up against your best.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, the O-line this year has been phenomenal. I mean, as a senior, just trying to lead them through. They've done exactly what I've asked them to do, and they've picked up on things quicker than I picked up my junior year and my sophomore year. So I mean, they've done a great job, and we've been working hard to really find where we need to be this season to beat teams like South Range.
Mike, we talked about legacy with Coach and what it means for you guys as seniors to leave your kind of legacy behind as you move forward. We've already been through 4 weeks. This is week 5. Imagine how the rest of the year is going to go as a senior. What does this win do for you against a South Range team that is looking to go perfect through the schedule?
I think what it does for us and our team is it just brings us all back together and ready to go again. Because if we need to bring it back together, going 2-2 to start. It's not how we want to start it, but it's all about how we end. So I think this will really help us get back to going and end the way we want.
We'll kind of address this to both of you guys. Do you feel like this is a playoff caliber schedule the rest of the way? I mean, your backs are up against the ropes a little bit.
Right. Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, 2 years ago, our sophomore year, obviously, we started off 2-2, and we went to the state semifinals. I mean, you can never count us out. That's Poland tradition. That's Poland right there. And even if we do go down 2-2, we're never going to just give up like that.
Dame?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's exactly what he said. We just need to get back at it and just keep working and just finish strong.
Donnie?
Given that this is the last game of the first half of the season for you guys, and I understand, 2-2 is nowhere near where you wanted to be. And honestly, losing the way it happened last week and everything, how do you use that as a lesson for the rest of the season?
I mean, obviously we're up in a big lead first half and stuff. And we thought that if we kept going, we were going to win. I mean, sometimes some things just go the wrong way and we can't control that. And sometimes people just made mistakes. And I mean, we just have to focus on fixing the mistakes and getting better in the future. And that if we do that, I believe we can win this ball game.
Yeah, I feel like it's just dealing with adversity now. I mean, like Dom said, versus Hubbard, last week, first half we looked amazing. Our defense was going amazing against one of the best, arguably best running back in the area. And I think it's all about just finishing games. Like going in the second half, got to finish the game and just keep going. Don't stop.
So if anything, do you think that that's something that you probably learned pretty quick, that it's all 4 quarters basically, and you gotta just put your head down and go?
Absolutely. I mean, coming out of the second half, we can't let up, and that's something that we've learned obviously in this week. And even if we're up 3 touchdowns at halftime, just pounce back on them and don't give up until all 4 quarters hit 0-0.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. That's the thing about football. It's a 4-quarter game, and got to keep your composure and just keep working all the way through the whole game and don't stop.
What I'm interested, guys, is you have I don't necessarily think it's a necessarily good distinction, but for the rest of history, you're going to be known as the class that had to go through COVID, came out the other side, and then kind of stepped right back into it, right? Yeah. What was last year like for you, playing 6 games, getting into the playoffs, battling through COVID issues, whether it was your team or another team? And this year, you look around, and I know you guys want to stay focused on what Poland is. You look around, there's games falling left and right. Do you feel like every time you step on that field could be one of your last?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's scary, everything going on right now. You never know what's going to happen. So, I mean, you just keep that mindset of it. Play every down like it's your last, and you just, play every down like it's your last.
Dom?
I mean, obviously, nobody thought COVID was coming to America when it came. And, I mean, that kind of changed everything for us. I mean, 6 games, usually playing 10 and all conference games. That's different. But, I mean, going in the playoffs last year, we knew that we're going to play some tough teams like the Ursulans and the Salems and stuff. And I believe we knew that we could win, so we went out there. And then just coming into this year, we knew it was going to be different, but it was kind of the same mindset. We'll just put our head down and work. And if we do that, we will get where we want to be.
The thing that I like about you guys most is a very special senior class. And Coach Pav talked about it and just the way you guys, what you've been through and what you've been through together. But you guys have been playing a lot longer than 4 years together. Yeah. You guys have been friends. You've been playing football, baseball, basketball, everything. I mean, chess, I'm sure, or games like that. When you look at this, your last ride, so to speak, with this special group, what culture did you guys help bring into that locker room that you hope stays for the rest of Poland football's tradition history?
I think it's just the brothership that we bring. I mean, it all started kind of how I feel it started is our freshman year, as a first year all together as a team. We went undefeated, and from that point on, we were just so like together from that point on, and it just really shows like what can do when people come together.
I mean, for me and Mike, we've played tackle football together since 5th, 6th grade down in ECC, like Pop Warner. And I mean, a group of guys were all down there, and like he said, the brotherhood, it's different here. And we all know that we will do anything for anybody else on this team, and we can expect the same from anybody else.
Donnie?
All right, so on a less serious note, since Coach Steve Leslie's not in with this segment, we have to ask, what's your music, what's your hype that you listen to before a game?
I mean, rap definitely. J. Cole's definitely someone that if I listen to him, I want to run through a wall.
Nice.
It makes me so happy, and I'm just ready to go as soon as he comes on.
Before the game, I definitely like some rock or something, some Motley Crue. I know a lot of guys.
Here we go.
I turn it on, and a lot of guys start headbanging, but a lot of guys don't like it.
Little Kickstart My Heart?
Yeah, Kickstart My Heart's the first song I play every single game.
That's my jam, man. Turn that on when you're going to the library. Get all fired up, pick out a book. I don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, guys. Last couple questions. One, I think, Donnie, you brought this up last week. I sorry for stealing it.
You okay?
If it comes down tomorrow night to a game-winning touchdown that you score offensively or a defensive stop on the goal line, which one do you want to be a part of? What gets you hyped up, more excited, and plant that flag in the middle?
I personally, I'm more of on the defense side of the ball, so I feel a defense stop, like on the 4th and 1 or something, we stop them. It's just incredible, and I think it's just the most amazing feeling.
I mean, I've been offensive guy my whole life. I mean, the size I am. I've played tackle, guard, all those positions.
You are a mountain, by the way.
Yeah.
And
I love his beard.
Just I mean, QB sneak, something up the middle, right off like the lineman. I mean, that's something that you dream about. I mean, with Jack as our quarterback being so versatile, he could break something that you didn't even think was possible. And I mean, that game-winning touchdown is that's a different feeling.
What's one word that describes this senior class, the class of 22? What's one word that you guys want people to associate with you the rest of your days?
One word I would say is family. I mean, we're together in football, school, everything. It's not even just football for us. It's just coming together all the time, and it's just an amazing feeling being with all these guys on this team.
Dom?
I mean, the group our group is team. Like the definition of team is that group that goes to war every single week and never looks at and points fingers and says you're the one wrong, I was right. Like we don't do that. We all man up to our mistakes, and we all just work hard and try to be successful.
Gentlemen, we appreciate you. We certainly grateful for your time sitting down with us. I'm sure there's probably food somewhere for you, so go carve into that. Good luck tomorrow, and we'll be rooting for you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Thank you.
We'll be back with more YSN Primetime Live right after this.
When looking for home design inspiration, don't just be inspired, be Baird inspired. Whether new or remodeling, Baird Brothers has the latest trends like shiplap to refresh your home. Go from inspiration to installation with our wide selection of in-stock American hardwoods. From the rustic charm of antique oak to the warmth of traditional cherry, Baird Brothers has what you need to make your home inspiring. Baird Brothers, our family's heritage, your family's home.
For a great vehicle and a great experience, come to Boardman Mitsubishi today. As always, our full lineup of Mitsubishi models comes with a standard 10-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Boardman Mitsubishi, your hometown Mitsubishi dealer since 1999.
Cocos Pizza, always supporting our community and our local athletes. Stop in on game day or score big and have it delivered right to your door. Check out our daily specials at cocospizza.com. That's Cocos Pizza, we serve it hot.
At Hubbard Chevrolet, Hubbard can help you get the financing you need regardless of your situation. I'm Tony Page, and I've helped thousands of customers in Northeast Ohio and Western Pennsylvania buy a vehicle. Visit HubbardChevy.com to get pre-approved. Remember, folks, Hubbard can help.
You're not waiting to see what the world has in store for you. It's more about what you have in store for the world. All you need is the opportunity. All you need are the resources of a large university and the advantages of a personalized academic setting where you can experience new worlds in the arts and sciences, business, and education and make them your own. We are where you shape your future. We are Youngstown State University and proud.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. DJ Yoakley, Steve Leslie, Donnie Riccatelli. First, before we get to the other games, those kids and coach, professional. I mean, like that. Usually, when you interview kids, you interview coaches, you're waiting for they have buzzwords, right? they opened up like a book,
Right.
And they meant every word that they said, and that doesn't happen everywhere. So kudos to number one, Poland School District for teaching their kids how to interview, because things like this, we talk about it all the time. This goes into interviews when you're interviewing for a job, and how you can kind of correlate the two of them together. So well done, Poland Seminary High School. Very well done.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, the Slobs t-shirt.
Perfect. The pancakes.
Awesome.
The beard.
Awesome.
The
we
beard.
Need Slobs
Their
t-shirt.
answers, Coley's answers. Yeah, that was perfect.
Betos gets the first Slobs t-shirt. Hands down. A couple updates before we get to the other kind of talking about the other games. East Liverpool and Harrison Central. That game has been postponed or canceled, whatever you want to say, due to COVID. Also, Warren JFK will not be in action this week, this Saturday, due to Fairport, excuse me. They are on the COVID list as well. So 2 games have been nixed from our schedule, so we do apologize for that, but not a whole lot we can do about it. So best of luck and continued health to those teams. Edison at Beaver Local. Guys, I have to admit, I saw an inspired Beaver Local team last week.
Man, was that something?
Wow. I mean, Edison also, I mean,
skilled.
What can anybody stop Beaver Local right now? Like, East Liverpool was supposed to be the buzzsaw that just cut right through the Beavers, and all of a sudden they get blanked.
Yeah, that was one of the first things that I looked at when I
Yeah.
got to the hotel was the Beaver Local, because we were there the night before. I want to say the first score I saw was 20-0, I think.
I
And
mean-
it was semi-early. I mean, it was second quarter-ish, but I had that feel when I left there that they were ready to play.
Yeah. When and I was just gonna say, here's where Beaver Local won that game, is when we asked the question, would you rather? And Dorian Jackson said, score the game-winning touchdown because they're not going to get near the end zone. I was like, I had goosebumps. I wanted to like go
Wasn't
tackle
wrong.
somebody.
Wasn't
You know what I
wrong.
mean? I mean, that was incredible. What a display. And first of all, kudos to both schools for coming out hand in hand together for 9/11. I mean, that was something special.
That was
you know.
awesome. I mean, all schools that did that
Yeah.
last week. I mean, you look at that. There's lessons on the football field, but there's lessons in life,
Life
and that's
lessons.
right at the top of it. You know,
Absolutely.
understanding what the flag stands for, and standing with the flag with other teams. That's important. Hubbard, Struthers. I got to say, guys, it's not that I'm not impressed with Hubbard, because I am, but this got trap game written all over it to me.
Huge trap. Again, that Struthers can move the football, can throw
Yeah.
the football. Greenwood's a very good quarterback. Their skill position's very good. And Struthers has played some folks too, you know,
They
the
have.
Streetsboro team. And then last week, that is a trap game. I'm with you. But I think, you know, the key to that game, can you stop Caffey from hitting that home run where it's a 70 or 80-yard touchdown? But
Yeah.
that game will be close for a little bit, I think.
Yeah, and I kind of do liken Hubbard to being a little bit more like Streetsboro. I mean, we had the question asked that Streetsboro was going to have the week off. You know, what was it going to do to them? They put up 70 against Girard, and then, man, they walked into Struthers and just laid a haymaker on them. I mean, I feel like Hubbard, I think they're more juiced up by the way they came back last week. I think that just carries over for them.
It's going to be interesting. I'm telling you.
I agree, though, on a trap, though.
Don't, after a game,
Yeah.
a game like they had against Poland, they're going to try to exhale. I
Yeah.
think, you know, and it's one of those, okay. And then Struthers going to sneak up on them.
But you can run the football.
You can.
You know what I mean? And running the football is that equalizer.
And it solves a lot of problems.
It solves a ton of problems.
Solves a lot of problems. All right, Hubbard, it's Struthers, Jackson Milton at Louisville. Louisville, last week, a lot of us saying this was the game of the week. This was the game to keep on your radar. And Springfield just went, hey, remember who we are.
Right.
What's Louisville show up with this week?
You know,
Does Vinny Balone get pissed?
Where were they last week, though? Like, I understand they were without the head coach, and that's a major part of the thing. And I even said, Louisville, you're on the cusp. You're on the cusp of doing great things. But what did you do last week? You basically had the stage to go and show yourselves and show what your offense could do, and you put up 6 points.
Penalties hurt, though.
Penalties, I get it.
10 guys on the field. Our guys were talking about it. Like, mental mistakes.
Yeah, that's
can cost
everywhere.
you. Because who knows what it's like. If Louisville shows up, mental mistakes don't happen.
Right.
But Springfield looked good.
They're
Springfield
amazing.
Look like Springfield.
Yeah.
Let's
It
just be
looked
honest.
good. And I think for Louisville, it's a stage that will help them get prepared for their next.
You would
stage.
hope so.
I think that they'll continue to improve. And on my end of it, kind of shows you how good South Range really is.
Oh, yeah.
And let's not kind of dismiss Jackson Milton quite yet. This could be a game that puts them right back on in a situation where, hey, look at us. Look at the Blue Jays.
Yeah, just a mixed bag with Jackson Milton, though. I mean, and again, we didn't think that Wyndham was going to take care of them, and Wyndham did. And Wyndham might be a little bit better than we all thought too. So
Girard and Lakeview. Girard's the home team in this matchup. I think that not that they got their eyes open last week against Jefferson, but I think they survived a scare against the Falcons, and I think they're going to take it out on the Bulldogs.
I agree with you on that. I don't think it's going to be even close. So.
Girard is. Coach Pearson does a great job. Their offense, and with Coach Cochran starting to kick it in gear, I think they learned a little lesson from last week and get after it and get a big win.
Yeah. Crestview, a very young team, traveling to Liberty, but you look at Crestview, they're learning who they are at a quick clip. I mean, the last couple of weeks, all of a sudden they're here, and Coach Cusick knew that they'd show up, didn't know when in the season they'd show. Crestview has arrived, gentlemen.
Yeah, you've talked to him, and he's told you if we could play a first half, they would be a lot better. They played a very good game last week. I think that's a team that come week 10 will be one of those improved teams and could have a shot at a playoff possibility.
Mineral Ridge at Springfield. Guys, I don't even know where to start on this one. Mineral Ridge, I thought was a team on the rise. And last week, I don't want to say they disappointed me, but it's not what I expected to see.
No, and I didn't. And honestly, I mean, I picked McDonald last week, but I think you go back and look at the tape. I was not very confident in picking McDonald because of how young they were. But Nathan Gilligan just showed up as a man against them, and he had an amazing game. Mineral Ridge is going to be in for a long, long night.
Brungart's figuring stuff out quick.
Yes, he is, and he's starting to get it to the receivers and working that magic that he had from last year. They're starting to pick up where they left off.
And listen, you partake at the Tiger Table from time to time. You like being there. We all love being there. They're a sponsor. What are the rumors and kind of the murmurs, I guess, at the Tigers table about, is this team comparable to teams in the last 2-3 years?
I think that they think they are. I think one of the things that Sean does a really good job is not comparing teams. This is a totally different team when you lose the skill guys that they lost last year that we were able to watch and have a field goal kicker when you got it inside the 40 that you could put it on the board. But I think it's a group that has been taught how to win. Definitely. I think it's a good senior group with Bo and Snyder, and those guys do a great job of being leaders. Warsencroft, they've gotten better every week. And I always go back to that because I think that South Range is a good football team. They didn't lose to someone that's
right. They lost to a really good team and
a bigger school, a higher division. I think that playing in South Range in the opener helps them as they prepare for another playoff
Still
run.
a bigger school.
Yeah, absolutely.
You look at that. All right. When you look at Garrettsville, Garfield, and Donnie, I know you said 10-0. They proved it last week.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, they proved that they are going to go 10-0.
Well, and the reason why they proved it is how they can manage a game.
Mm-hmm.
They will not let anybody dictate the game except themselves. I mean, it's unbelievable how well coached they are and how disciplined they are. And their skill positions are unbelievable and strong, and their line is ridiculous. I mean, you're looking at a great team who's in an unbelievable region.
That's a special team. I mean, Coach Mosier's got them coached up, and he's got them believing.
Yeah.
And I think that, you look at last week's game, there's a lot of hype around LeBray, as there should be.
Yeah.
But I think more people are starting to float towards that Garfield boat and saying, hey, it's a little bit comfier over here.
Yeah. And G-Man, if you're watching this show and everything, and I'm telling you 10-0, don't listen to me.
Yeah.
Every week you got to go 1-0. Every week you got to go 1-0. So
It's one of the places that I'm bummed that I wasn't at. And I say that because of just the way they play.
It was awesome.
Kickoffs are, 7:00?
Yeah.
For as physical that they are, and if you let them start pounding the ball at you,
it's over.
Game's over by 8:00.
Well, that's it. And they played in a phone booth last week.
You're right.
It's over.
And it was done.
Those kids you interviewed love playing in phone booths.
Oh, and you don't know where the ball is going to go. That's the first time I've actually been able to see
something
some of that
wrong
tape.
and you read a wrong key.
Right.
That's
It's
a good
over.
football team.
Sharpsville at Jefferson. This was a kind of a remake because Jefferson's supposed to play Niles. Niles down with COVID. They find Sharpsville. And here's, I think, a lot of the reason why it's homecoming. There's a lot of things going on in that situation. You got to get 5 games in.
Right.
This way, Jefferson's guaranteed to have their 5 games in case something happens.
Sure.
No.
But this game's important. It doesn't count necessarily in the computer points, but you're playing a game. You get your homecoming in, all that stuff. Is this a game that they can overlook and just, hey, we just need to kind of scratch this one off?
Well, the problem isn't Sharpsville and West Middlesex, aren't they combined now?
Yes, they are.
Okay, so you don't know what you're getting out of a team like that. You know what I mean? So if you're Jefferson, you got to fear that you're going to have probably a really good team coming up to see you, because you have a hodgepodge of guys coming. You know what I mean? Like guys that they would play against each other last year are now together. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I mean, I agree with getting the game in because it's homecoming. You got to get all this stuff in, but man, you just don't know what you're getting.
Cool story about Sharpsville and West Middlesex is last week, I believe, was West Middlesex supposed to be their senior night?
Yes.
They all wore West Middlesex uniforms.
Yes.
I thought that was as cool as it gets. So hats off to Sharpsville and West Middlesex. Whoever came up with that idea, brilliant. And listen, you want to talk about, we joke about it tongue in cheek. It's always for the kids when it comes to OHSAA.
Right.
Whoever put that together, the administration was for the kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Was for the kids. So fantastic job there. Looking forward to seeing that game tomorrow right here on YSN. A little Keystone Buckeye rivalry.
Yeah, that's a nice one. PA Ohio.
Yeah.
I never thought of that, but Jefferson, I think, could pick off where they left off.
I think
good
so.
Offense, can put some points
Sure.
on the board. I think they roll.
Sebring McDonald. Donnie, I'm leaning on you for this one.
Well, I'm a little bit more confident in McDonald this week than I was last week, because I honestly thought that they were going to get knocked off by Mineral Ridge. I thought Mineral Ridge was definitely on the rise, and I think a couple of the skill guys in Logan Hawk and Nate Gilligan, I think they can get it done against Sebring.
Gilligan's really good.
Yeah, he is.
I watched
He's a big
flipping
boy.
around last week. That was a great game. I think it goes with Coach Williams. You
Yeah.
knew that was a team that was going to
Yep.
improve a little bit. Coach Seidel, those kids play hard. I think that that's a program that just to get out and play is something. I know how hard he works at it, and I think it's going to be a good football game. I do.
I don't think I'm breaking any news here that if McDonald can stop the run for Sebring, McDonald controls the game.
Yeah.
Let's go to Salem and Alliance. I'd like to say this is going to be a good game. I don't think that anybody can touch Salem until week 10. No. I don't think so.
Johnson and just the way they spread you out.
It's
and the
amazing.
way they can hit the big play, and they can also pound it at you a little bit with their run game. That's and Coach Johnson's one of the better coaches in the area that gets unnoticed every year. He really does.
And I was in Salem twice this week, and man, the buzz is just awesome. It's great this is what I always used to love when I played football in high school, was hearing the older people in my community talking about our team. You know what I mean? And that's what's happening down in Salem right now. That's a community full of pride. And that week 10, I mean, I know I don't want to look ahead, but man, that week 10 is going to be insane.
I can promise you that
we will be there.
Gonna be there. Yes. It's going to be on a Saturday, and we're going to be there from pillar to post.
Yes.
So I'm excited for that. Another one I'm excited for goes without saying, South Range and Poland. All right, boy, we've heard from the players. We've heard from the coach. What are your expectations for this game?
One of the first things that grabbed me listening to kids while I was trying to find a food place, which we know a lot of good ones here. Wounded.
Yeah.
Not in a bad way. A team that is close, a team that still can do some damage when they put their goals up there for the season. It's a dangerous spot. That's a dangerous team when your backs are against the wall, and now 4th and 2, maybe you wouldn't go for if you're 4-0.
Yeah.
You're going to go for those things. I think it's a good football game. I really do. I think it's going to be close, but I just think the South Range has too many weapons at the end of the game to win a close one.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I do believe that South Range is just going to have too much for them tomorrow night. But man, listening to these two guys and the coach talk, and it's almost like the Buster Douglas story. Like, you get knocked down, just go beat Mike Tyson. And right now, Mike Tyson's coming in tomorrow night trying to wreck a homecoming. So I mean, you got nothing to lose.
I agree with you. A wounded wolf is Poland. They're going to lick their wounds this week. They're going to do what it takes to get better. But when you look at the other side of that ring, it gets real tomorrow night at 7:00. And it's not like these guys haven't met before. They have. But the circumstances last year, they were playing in a monsoon. It was raining sideways. It was thundering. It was lightning. There were delays. And I think that on a clean surface like we're going to have tomorrow night, that is all advantage South Range.
Yeah.
All advantage, because South Range can beat you throwing the ball. They can beat you running the ball. We talked about it on the Power Hour, special teams, defense. It's a dangerous, dangerous South Range team. They've got one team and one team alone on their radar, and that name is Kirtland.
Right.
And that's a dangerous, dangerous team, because that's not looking past your opponent. That's looking to just move it down the field. And that's what South Range is doing. So I'm excited for this game. Really excited, because we will be debuting the Huddle Camp and it is going to be clean and crisp and AI, artificial intelligence, boys.
Yeah.
It's science.
Right.
It's science. I love it. It's technology. It's the best thing that we have going here at YSN. Thank you to Brian Banfield as well for that. Southern Columbiana. Intriguing here.
Columbiana's playing good football.
Well,
Southern is a good football team. I think this is one of the better games of the weekend that goes unnoticed with the other games.
I don't even want to pick it because I don't know. I mean, there's so many young players on both sides, guys.
And I think the fact that it's advantage is probably going to go to the home team. You know, I think if it's down at Southern, they have no chance. But it's up in Columbiana where it could be a much easier thing for them. So I agree. I think the home team can pull it off.
Wings up, boys. Wings up. All right, Uniontown Lake is hosting Louisville. Lake's a good team.
Yeah.
Lake's a real good
They
team.
play in that tough conference, and
that,
Louisville plays people tough every week.
Right.
Should be another great game. That's an old rivalry.
When you're looking at the Federal League, if Lake wins this game, it sets up, I believe, Maslin Jackson. Which,
listen, they don't like to be called Maslin Jackson.
Jackson.
No, I ruffled a few feathers when I went up there and said, "You're Maslin Jackson." They're like, "No, we are Jackson."
Hey, guess what? Breaking news. Don't care.
Don't care.
They
They're
wouldn't
not
let
part
us
of
in.
YSN. They wouldn't let us in. And your fans and your student section need to be reprimanded.
United at Latonia, boys. United, very good football team, bouncing back onto the field here. I'm really interested in this, but I will never, ever, 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 ever again count out DJ Ogilvie.
Two great coaches. You named
And
it right
Paul
there.
Hooley.
Paul Hooley and DJ Ogilvie. Say no more. That's a good football game in that area, and that game could go either way.
Ursuline at Warren G. Harding, guys. An Ursuline team that, I'll be honest, I put my Skittles against them last week against Fitch. I'm never doing it again. Give me Ursuline.
I'm going to say this: another wounded animal.
Yeah,
Harding's dangerous.
Yes,
Ursuline.
Can we just take the over?
Full. Yeah,
Can
well,
we
the
take the
over.
over?
You can't go wrong with the over in Ursuline games. I think it's a game early. But Ursuline just, if you start to try racing with them, the game gets away from you.
Track meet.
Yeah, I think Ursuline wins it by a few touchdowns.
Valley Christian, Lisbon. We continue to feel for Lisbon, right? But
Yeah.
Valley Christian, a team that didn't have a game last week, are they going to be able to shake off the rust?
They will. They're fine. I mean, Coach Hake can probably shake off anything on those boys. I mean, he'll have them ready. And you have an offensive coordinator in Jeff Clegg that he was so good at Western Reserve, and just putting his mind on an offensive scheme is pretty awesome.
Waterloo at Reserve.
Reserve is one of those teams that's gotten better every week.
Yes, sir.
So I think that they improve again and get another win.
All right, Wellsville at East Palestine. My Bulldogs were looking. I don't even know. I had my conversation with Tony last night. There was conversation about, our guys are at the top of the rankings when it comes to rushing leaders and passing leaders and da-da-da-da-da. And he said, I don't care. But I don't care. That's great. But the ultimate one that matters is the one in the left-hand column.
Listen,
the wins.
They need to go hang around the girls volleyball team right now, because the girls volleyball team's putting together some wins, right? They're winning. Show them how to win. That's the thing. East Palestine needs to learn how to win. And it's, they haven't won since St. John's last year, whatever it is. But okay, that's one win. But you have to learn that it takes all facets of the game to win, and you have to be bought in.
Fun fact, Coach Foster, 2 daughters on that volleyball team.
There you go.
So kudos, by the way, 6 straight wins and going up against a very tough Wellsville team tonight that has not lost an EOAC match in 1,422 days, boys.
And believe me, if they lose tonight,
Michigan, Ohio State.
Yeah, really. if the girls lose tonight, listen, I didn't put the Maluch on them. It's because they played Wellsville.
Right
Donnie Riccatelli, his phone number is.
We'll give you a cell here in a second.
West Branch at Canton South. Guys, listen.
Is it safe to say just put 45 or more up on the board the way they?
Yeah.
We'll be there. I'll be there at HQ tomorrow night, and I'm going to hit West Branch early because by every time I feel we hit West Branch, they're already up by 30.
Yeah.
They just
Canton South, though. Canton South is not a team to overlook. West Branch is definitely going to win big, but don't overlook them.
Wyndham at Steubenville Central Catholic. Wyndham, big win last week over Ashtabula St. John.
Yeah.
Are we buying into Wyndham right now? The Bombers?
Yeah, I don't think SEC is a good program right now either. So.
Yeah, I think Wyndham gets another one.
In the early game on Saturday, a 1:00 kick, it's Toledo Waite against Howland. Howland, Of all the teams, other than Beaver Local, Howland impressed me the most with what they did against Boardman.
Yeah, they moved the ball. They're physical, and the offensive line. They've played a good schedule too. When you look at who they've played, I think they get a big win.
Yeah, when they give the ball to Masucci, good things happen, and they stopped giving the ball to Masucci for some reason in the second half, and they started a lot of the quarterback runs. Which he's a sophomore, he's 215 pounds, he's a big boy, but Masucci basically kept them in that game the whole entire first half. So why they went away from him is beyond me. And
who's the other running back? Is it Wormer?
It's Wormer. And
Yeah,
Wormer
I like
was
him
great
too.
too. And Wormer hit a lot of really nice plays up the middle. And you know, it was baffling to me because the assistant coaches were right next to us. And man, let me tell you, we apologize if any of the foul language was caught on YSN, but they were flabbergasted as to why they weren't giving the ball to Masucci, and they were yelling at their coaches like, "What are you doing? What's going on? You know, why are we doing QB sneaks and everything else?" But if you get away from your game plan, bad things happen. You know, stick to your guns. If this is something you think is going to work, stick with it.
Full slate of games, as we just covered right here on YSN tomorrow night, and 2 games on Saturday. Gentlemen, as always, I appreciate you. My favorite day of the week, Thursday.
Oh my God, I love it.
It's a fun time, and hats off to Poland for having us
Thank
and
you.
the 2 young men that they had and coach. Again, it's going to be a great one tomorrow night. They will come ready to play.
They
There's
will.
no doubt about that.
Do not miss it. It's Friday football all day on YSN. Kicks off at 9 a.m. We'll have all the coaches' corners leading up to Running Point. Then it's the Casual Sports Podcast, Power Hour. And then guess what? It's game time, baby. We'll have it all here on ysnlive.com. Don't forget the Audible call. 6:55 tomorrow. We have all your touchdowns covered from pillar to post. And make sure you tune in everywhere because they're all free. Every game on the network free all year long, thanks to our great sponsors. That's going to do it for us. YSN Primetime Live. We'll see you next week, 5 o'clock, right here on your Sports Network.